All right. Morning, guys. I'll be looking down a little more than usual because I'm not situated so well. But anyway, so we left off 3 lines in the bottom of Kuf Ches Amud Beis. Today's Kuf Chav Tes. So we said, Omar Rav Yehuda, Omar Shmuel, Chaya, a woman who's giving birth, Kol Zman She'akever Pasuach, Bein Amrat Tzarichani, Bein Lo Amrat Tzarichani, Mechalana Shabbos. Anytime a woman's womb is considered to be open, i.e., she's giving birth, then whether she says, be Mechal Shabbos for me or do not, we are Mechal Shabbos for her because she's in a place of sakana. Niste Makever. However, once the womb is closed, we'll have to define what this is. Bein Amrat Tzrichani, Bein Lo Amrat Tzrichani. Whether she says I need or I don't need, Ein Mechal Shabbos. Then we're not Mechal Shabbos for a woman in that case. Ravashi Masni Hachi. So that was Ravashi's version. Now, Marzutra Masni Hachi. However, Marzutra had a slightly different version, which is actually more Mekel. He said, Amr Rav Yehuda, Amr Shmuel, Chai Kozman Sheker Pasuch Bein Amra Tzrichani, Bein Amra Ein Tzrichani Mechalas Shabbos. A woman, as long as she's giving birth, she's a Chaya. So whether or not she says Mechala for Shabbos for me, we are always Mechala Shabbos, which is this identical as what we said earlier. Niste Makever. However, once the womb closes up, Amra Tzrichani, if she says, hey, I still need you to do this for me, which could be a malach on Shabbos, nevertheless, Nisei Makever. So Amra Tzrichani, Mechalena Les Shabbos. We are Mechal for Shabbos at that point. However, Lo Yamra Tzrichani, but she says, no, I don't need you to, then Ein Mechal Les Shabbos. Then we are not Mechal Shabbos. So the difference is here is even if she says, hey, I need you to do this for me, I need you to, light the fire for me to, warm me up, then we do listen to her even after Niste Makever, after her womb is closed up. And Amarle Ravina Ramema Marzutra Masni Hachi Lakula Ravashi Masni Lachumla. So Hilchazakaman. So it says Ravina Ramemar. So Marzutra his version was Lakula. Ravashi's version was Lachumra. So who was Allah like? So Amarle Halach Marzutra looks like Marzutra suffering nefashos lahakil, because we in a case of suffering nefashos, when a case of people's lives are at stake, even if it's in doubt, then we are mekel, we're more lenient. So when it's psichas hakever, some Rabbi Misha Sheteshev al mishbar. From once the woman sits on the birth stool, and Rav Huna Bereid Rav Yeshua Amar Misha Shadam says when she starts to bleed, right, when blood starts to drip out, and some say Misha Shechavrusa Noiseh Soisa Beagta. So in other words, basically until her friends help her walk, she can't walk on her own anymore, and therefore she needs help walking now that she's considered to be a chaya, a woman in labor. And ad mosai psichas hakever, until when psichas hakever? Amar Abaye shloisha yamim, 3 days. And Rav Amar Mishmei Rav Yehuda Shiva, he says 7 days. Some say shloishim, up to 30 days after. And Amar Nahardia they said chaya gimel zayin v'shloishim. So when it comes to a woman giving birth, there's 3 important times. There's 3 days, 7 days, and 30 days. Gimel, 3 days. Bein amar tzrichani, bein amar lo tzrichani, mechal Shabbos. If it's the first 3 days, whether or not she says mechal Shabbos for her, we are mechal Shabbos for her. Sometimes people try and be a hero, right, and say, oh, I don't need it, but really she does need it for her health. And Zayin, if it's within 7 days, Amrat Tzrichani, Mechal Shabbos, then we are Mechal Shabbos for Amar Lo Tzrichani, but she says, I do not need, then okay, we can listen to her then because she's not in so much Sakana anymore, because it's already after the 3 days, it's between days 3 and 7. Ein Mechal Shabbos, then we're not Mechal Shabbos for her. However, Shleishim Yom, if it's 30 days, Amrat Tzrichani, if she says, hey, I need you to be Mechal Shabbos for me, Ein Mechal Shabbos, we're not Mechal Shabbos for her. However, we can do it through a non-Jew. In such a case, and Kedar Rav Ula Bereid Rav Ilai, like Rav Ula Bereid Rav Ilai, Damar Kol Tzarchei Chole Nasa Aidei Aramai B'Shabbos. Any needs of a chayla can be done by an Aramai, by an Armenian, by a non-Jew on Shabbos. So Rav Hamnuna, Damar Rav Hamnuna, Davar Shem B'Sakana. Look, if it's a Davar Sakana, then you can be Mechal Shabbos. If it's a Davar Shem B'Sakana, but if it's something that which is not a Sakana, then then since it's for chola, but it's not, no one's life is in danger, such a case you can say to a nachri to go ahead and do. And Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel lachaya, for a woman who gave birth shloishim yom lamai. So 30 days is for what? Lamai hachasos. I mean nahardia letfila. For tefillah, we don't want her to go ahead and be toivel because perhaps she'll be cold. And if she'll be cold within 30 days after giving birth, she could come to sakana. And this is only when her husband is not living with her. If her husband is around, he can go ahead and warm her up. But if her husband is around, then he go ahead and warm her up. Kiha de Barti Rav Chisa, like that, the daughter of Rav Chisa. Tavla begut tleisin yamin. That she went to be Tavelas within 30 days, but her husband was not around. Stanis, right? Then she became very cold. She became very sick. So what do? They put her basically in a bed and travel all the way to Pumbedisa in order, I guess to Rava. I guess that was her husband, right? To go ahead and she can be, she can get warm by her husband. And Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel Oisin Medura L'Chayev Shabbos. Right? We can make a bonfire, a Medura, for a woman giving birth on Shabbos to heat her up. Savar Minei L'Chaya In L'Chayla Lo. Right? So we thought that this is only said maybe for a that this was said for someone who was giving birth, but not necessarily somebody who was sick. Obviously not sakana, but just regular sick. And be most like a shaman. This is only during the winter. During the summer days, you do not need to go ahead and start a fire. And they skip the parentheses. It's like a line. So Itamar. It says Amar Rav Chia Bar Avin Amar Shmuel Hikis Dam V'Nitztanin Oysin Loy Medura Afil Tkuvas Tammuz. Says Shmuel, a person in bloodlets. We're going to talk a lot about bloodletting. So, and a person becomes cold afterwards. So you can make a fire even in the middle of the summer. And Shmuel Tzauchle Takasa the Shaga. So Shmuel, I guess, after he bloodlet, they went ahead and they chopped up a stool made of shaga wood. And Rav Yehuda Tzauchle Psura, he also broke up a table made of, I guess, yona wood. And Rava Tzauchle Sharshifa. And he went ahead and he had like another stool that was also broken up, and they used the wood from the broken up stool or table or chair, whatever it was, and they threw it in the fire in order to go ahead and break it, to make a fire to heat them up after they bloodlet, because the person after bloodlet he doesn't have as much blood, and therefore it's a time of sakana. What about Baltashkas, right? You can't go ahead and destroy things, right? Baltashkas is not just food, right? We always talk about Baltashkas. Oh, you can't throw away the food. Even wasting things, right? You go ahead and you take a chair or take a table. It's a useful table, and you go ahead and break it up and throw it in fire. So go use firewood. Don't ruin a table. That's Baltashkas. Samarle, Baltashkas de Gufe Adif. Says, you know what? You know what else about Baltashkas? Ruining my body. So therefore, heating up, ruining the table is better than ruining my body. Therefore, I prefer to go ahead and chop up the table or the stool or the chair and heat that up in order that my body does not get injured. And Amrav Yudam Rav Lielam Yimpar Adam Kores Base of Ikach when Alaim Laraglov. A person should go ahead and he should even sell the beams of his house, right, in order to purchase for himself shoes. Right, but if a person doesn't have shoes, it's very dangerous. That's very important. Shoes actually override even having the luxury of a house. And he keys dumb, and a person he bloodlets and doesn't have no food. Go ahead and even sell your shoes. We just saw how important shoes are. Shoes are basically held as shelter. But if you have no food after your bloodlet, then there's going to be no life for wearing shoes. You better go ahead and sell your shoes to go ahead and buy food for a suda. And so what type of food for the Suda? Rav Amar Basar, Shmuel Amar Yain. Rav says meat, and Shmuel says wine. Rav Amar Basar, Nafsha Cholaf Nafsha, because Basar, which is meat, right? Meat is life, that replaces life, that fills in life. Shmuel Amar Yain, why Sumka Cholaf Sumka? There's red, right? The wine replaces the red of the blood. All right, skip the parentheses. Shmuel b'yaymi David milsa avdile tavshila tetachli. The Shmuel's on days that he would go ahead and bloodlet, he would go ahead and he would cook up, a spleen before, in order for him to go ahead and have enough food. And Rabbi Yechanan shasi ad denofik tia me'onei, he'd go ahead and drink wine until the smell of it would come from his ears. Rav Nachman shasi ad de kafi tachlet. He said basically he would drink enough wine that his spleen would be like floating in the wine in his stomach. Rav Yosef shasi ad denofik merivda de kuslisa. He would drink so much that basically the wine would come out of the places where their bloodlets, where they had the puncture wounds. And Rav Mehader Chamra Bar Tlasa Tafi, Rav used to go ahead and search out some fine wine, early stages of vines. He would take that type of wine. And Amrul Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak Rabbanan, Matusa b'naychu b'yomid akaza. Right? And so he said, when you go at bloodlet, tell your wives Rav Nachman was coming over for dinner. They would prepare a big feast for Rav Nachman. He's actually known as a balabasa. He's known as a big guy. So they would make a large feast, and then Rav Nachman wouldn't show, but there'll be plenty of food for this guy, for the Talmidim to have for dinner, because they told their wives Rav Nachman was coming, and therefore they would have sufficient amount to eat after they bloodlet. The kulu are Aroime, Asire, Bar Mihai, Aroma, Deshari. And all types of aroma, trickery is really forbidden, except for this type of trickery. This type of trickery is permitted for one to eat or drink after one bloodlets. A person, let's say, he goes ahead and eats bloodlets, but he does not have enough food to go ahead and eat, and he doesn't have enough money. Lishko, Zuza, Machla. Go ahead and take a coin. That really is not accepted, right? The mint, I guess, is off. It's not really accepted. And what you do, go ahead to 7 different shops, wine shops, to say, okay, here's my coin, shows him his coin, I'm going to go ahead and drink. So he starts the bottle, he drinks a little bit, he shows him the coin, here, I want to purchase some more. The guy says, oh, sorry, we can't accept this money. So he did that once, and he does that 7 more times, and now he got himself a full-fledged amount of wine. So this type of trickery, even though Lamaisa, if the shop owner wanted to accept the money, he could have, they just prefer not to take this type of money. So therefore, it's not so much stealing by the guy as it is that it is not with the participation of the sellers. So at the time, Shir Ravisa, until he goes ahead and drinks the amount of Ravis, if he doesn't have this type of coin, so go ahead and find 7 black dates, and rub it into his temples, his head, his forehead. To go lie out in the sun, and that will actually sort of help after bloodletting. And Avleit Ashke l'Shmuel Degani b'Shimsha, Avleit, non-Jew, so he found Shmuel, he was out lying in the sun after he bloodlet. So Amrlei Chachime Yehuda Bisha Miyavatova, right? Such a smart person, such as Shmuel, right? He's lying out in the sun, which is bad. So something bad is going to be good for you. Why are you lying in the sun? No, it was a day of bloodletting, and therefore it's actually beneficial to be out in the sun. However, it's not only just that. There's actually one day of the year where lying out in the sun is good, and that is that's the day of the summer solstice. This day of the summer solstice, but he didn't want to tell him that this lying out in the sun, the summer solstice is good, so he just sort of kept it to himself and said that basically he bloodlet, but there's really 2 reasons. So Heikil Baruch, so let's skip the parentheses. Rav Shmuel Damer Tavayu, Rav Shmuel says, Kol HaMekel B'Sudas HaKasas Dom, Ma'akilam B'Zoyzah Min HaShemayim. Whoever is Mekel, lenient when it comes to the Suda following bloodletting, then the Hashem will be also lenient in providing him for his own sustenance. Right? He doesn't take his life seriously. I should take his life seriously. So he's not serious about his life. He doesn't take care of himself. He doesn't eat after bloodletting. So why should I go ahead and give him plenty of mazonos? And the Rabbi Shmuel Davar Tavayu, Hayman, the Ovid Milsa, Lalisev, Hecha, the Karach Hazika. A person after he bloodlets, shouldn't go ahead and go in an area where the wind is blowing, right? The Dilma Shafile Umna will make him a Ravia. So perhaps he went ahead and he took a little too much blood out. He have a revis of blood left in his system. Perhaps some of the wind will blow. It basically caused him to lose some of his blood, and therefore his blood, level, blood pressure, will fall below a revis of blood, and therefore he'll come to a sakana. And Shmuel Haviragav Avin Milsa Bebesa Deshav Levini Variche. Shmuel used to go ahead and blow and go in basically in a room in a building that had bricks that was 7.5 bricks thick. Right, it's very thick, so no wind can get in. One time he went ahead, he did his usual. He went to a house with 7.5 layer bricks, and he didn't feel right. So what happened? Badak, he checked it, and it was missing a half of width of the brick. So therefore, it was like a little bit of draft, and he felt that in his body. And Rabbi Shmuel Davar Tavayu, Hayman David Milsa, Litay Midei Vahader Lifik. First, he should go ahead and eat first, and then he should leave, right? He shouldn't go ahead and immediately, right, the bloodlet and leave. Rather, he should, stay a little bit and then go ahead and leave after. Delay time midday, because if he doesn't go ahead and taste anything, ipaga b'shivcha yarka. If he goes ahead and he comes across a person that was dead, right, then his face will turn green. just like the dead body. And he paga gaman de katel nafshe, and he meets up with somebody who murders somebody, right? Then he will die, right? Whatever, maybe it's his, sort of like a simon or a symbol what could happen to him. And he paga, and if he goes ahead to davar acher, and he goes ahead and meets davar acher, so kasha davar acher, if he goes ahead and meets a davar acher, which Rashi says is a chazir, a pig, then, right, he will have another type of davar acher. Another davar acher that was described is saras. So perhaps he will come down with saras if he sees a pig. So all these things, once again, it's not really scientific, but if he sees it, it's an omen for something bad to happen. The Rabish Moldar Tavayo, Haiman, the Ovid, Milsa, Lishavi, Porsa, Vihadalikim. First, he should go ahead and rest a little bit and then get up. He shouldn't go ahead and stand up immediately. Damar said, Chamisha Dvarim Kruvin Lamisa. 5 things bring someone closer to death. Yaisim and Achaim, right? Things close to death more than life. Elohein, Achav Yamad, if a person eats and immediately stands up. Shasav Yamad, or he drinks and immediately stands up. Yashan Yamad, he sleeps and immediately jumps up whenever he wakes up. He keys dam b'yamad, or he blowlets and then he gets up, and shimish mitasa, and he has relations with his wife, and then he gets up. All these things are bad to immediately get up. Rather, one should sort of pause and not get up immediately, and then he can get up afterwards. Omar Shmuel, pursa the dama kotlesim. A person should go ahead and blow that every 30 days. Ubeina prakim, and beni prakim, which is basically the next phase of his life, as Rashi describes after he turns 40. All right, Beina Prakim Yimat. Go ahead and minimize. Instead of doing once a month, do it once every 2 months. Beina Prakim, and then even after that, when he's 60, Yachzav Yimat. Go ahead and even do it less. Do it once every 3 months. The Omar Shmuel says, right? Don't get. I know some of you got nervous when you see the little charts in the art scroll, right? Don't worry about it, right? We'll get there, right? So he says, the Omar Shmuel, and says Shmuel, Pursa the Dama Chad b'Shabasa Arba Umali Shabasa, right? When is the best time to go ahead and bloodlet? The best time is either on Sunday, Wednesday, or Friday. All right, those are the 3 best days to do it. You should not do it on the other 4 days. All right, Shabbos is obvious because you can't go ahead and make his dome on Shabbos. But what about the other days? About Sheni v'Chamishi, but on Monday and Thursday, no. Why? Damar. A person who has chasavas, he knows he has the merits of his father's, then he should go ahead and make his dam. However, but however, on Mondays and Thursdays, right, that's not a wise day because those are the days where they convene Beis Din down here, just like they convene down here, they convene upstairs. And if someone did something wrong and he's supposed to be punished, so all of a sudden he's at a place of a sakana, right? Because he just, drain some of his blood, right? So he bloodlet. So therefore, he shouldn't put himself in such a sakana on Monday or Thursday. Okay, so what about Tlas B'Shavas, my time alone? Okay, so what about Tuesday? Why is Tuesday a bad day? Mishum dekaimale ma'adim b'zavi. Because ma'adim. Now, there are 7, because the constellation, right, or actually not the constellation, right? The celestial body, right, of Mars, right, which is Madim, right, like red, Adom, Madim, right, of Mars, right, comes out, Bizavi, right, in pairs, right, and during an even hour. Now, every hour of the day is a different one of the 7 different celestial bodies, right? Those are listed. Those of you have the art scroll, right? They're listed in item number 9. Right, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, all those different. Every hour is something else. Now, so each hour goes through, and if you look at the chart, right, the shaded in, it shades in all the mems, right? It shades in the mems that come out during even hours. Now, even is a bad omen because we know that pairs are basically times of the Gemara that pairs are sort of bad luck, bad mazel. And the Mars, the Madim is also bad mazel. So you have the double bad mazel of the Madim coming out during an even hour. So that's 2. So those 2 things together make it a little bit dangerous. So now, bringing it back. So why Tuesday? So if you look at, there's the night hours and the day hours. So if you look at the chart, those of you have the chart and the day, right? Where the mem is, which is the shaded area, comes out in a even hour.
What's Mars?
So Mars is one of there's it says over here that it's a celestial body, I guess that it says over here, which has astrological influences on earthly affairs due to the rotation of the sun. So I guess when it comes to astrology, right? These are different celestial signs or mazalos that occur, right?
Okay.
So, anyways, it comes out only during an even hour on Tuesday. So, because we don't want you to go ahead and be making dumb during that hour on Tuesday, therefore, don't do it then, right? Even though it also comes out on Thursday during an even hour, and also Monday an even hour. Those days we already said are bad to do because that's when Beis Din meets. Okay, and then even though if you look at Wednesday, right, during the 12th hour, there's a mem there, but since it's already Wednesday, basically at midnight, so therefore it's already much past it. It's not really, it's really considered to be part of the night, not the day. So therefore we don't have to, a person won't go ahead and bloodlet then. So therefore we won't do it then. So the Gemara says if that's the case, Samali Shabbasanami, Kaimi, if you look over here at Friday, you see Friday comes out during the 6th hour. 6th hour is Madim is that. So that's also an even hour and Madim. It all comes out during an even hour. So came the Dashi, but Rabim, since most people blow that on Fridays, therefore Hashem, there's a rule that he basically watches over fools. Since most of the people there are foolish, therefore Hashem guards them. Fine. And Omar Shmuel, speaking of bad times, Dalid, Dehu Dalid, if Wednesday, right, is Dehu Dalid, right, is the 4th day of the month, or Dalid Du Arba Asar, Dalid Du Asrim Arba, or it's the 4th day of Wednesday, and it's also the 14th of the month, or the 24th of the month, or Dalid Du Lek Arba Basre, or if it's a Wednesday and there's less than 4 days left of it in the month, right? Sakanasa, all these are also a sakana. And Rosh Chodesh, the Sheni Lo, and Rosh Chodesh, and after that, Chulsha makes 1 week. Shlishi Lo, Sakana, but the 3 days after is a Sakana, so you shouldn't do it then. And Mali Yom Tova Chulsha, on Erev Yontef, 1 becomes weak. Mali Yom Dad Sarasa Sakanasa, but Erev Shavuos is not only weakening, but it's actually a Sakana. It goes. Rabbanan Akulu Mali Yom Tova Mishum Yom Tova Dad Saras, and the Rabbanan regards that every Erev Yontef is not. You shouldn't go ahead and blood that because of the Sakana that's posed on Erev Shavuos. Why? And what's those Sakana on Erev Shavuos? Denavi Beizika. There's a certain demon that goes out of Shmei Tavuach. His name is Tavuach, and he says, "Dilo Kabel Yisrael Torah Havi Tavuchaluhu V'Yisrael Damayo." Right? If the Bnei Yisrael doesn't go ahead and be Makabel the Torah, then I will go ahead and I will shech them, and their blood will flow. And Amar Shmuel, Achel Chita Vikis Dam. Person eats wheat and then he's makis dam. There is no benefit. The only part, the blood, the only part that he really lets out is really the wheat that he just ate. So you shouldn't eat wheat right before. For hani militer food, that's only for refuah. Aval kuli mekil. But if he's just doing it to go ahead and not have, wants to feel lighter and not too much blood, then he can go ahead and do it. And I make his dam shtia the altar. And achila ad chatzimil. When it goes to make his dam, he should go ahead and drink immediately after. But if he's going to go ahead and eat, then he should wait the chatzimil, the amount of time it takes to go ahead and walk a half mil, whether it's 9 minutes or something, or approximately that point. So yiboilu shtili altem ali aval basar hachi kashi adimuloi kashi v'loi nami v'lamali. Do we say that drinking immediately after is good? But if you don't drink after, it's bad. If you wait, then it's bad. Or do we say if you drink a little later on, it's not good or not bad? Take them. So once again, or not once again, the Gemara does not give it teretz here. And he boilu achli ad chatzi mil hu de kamali habasachi umakmi hachi kashi ademolei kashi v'lei mali. Also, that which we said, you should wait a half a mil, approximately 9 minutes after bloodletting to eat. So if he doesn't wait that, he waits less or more. Is it bad for him, or is it just not good or not bad? It's indifferent. Then, once again, the Gemara says, take him. So Machris Rav, so Rav said, Meya Kari Bezuza, a person can go ahead and purchase, right, 100 gourds, right, for a zuz, go ahead and buy them, it's a good deal. Meya Reishe Bezuza, 100 heads, right, maybe on the Erev Hashanah, he wants to buy the lamb's head or something, right, so if you can buy 100 of them for a zuz, also go ahead and buy them. But if you have 100, right, animal lips, right, I guess lips are for sale by the butcher, you can buy 100 for a zuz, don't buy it. It's not beneficial. You gain nothing from it. Basically, you'll base a zuz. And I'm Rav Yosef, ki havina the Rav Huna yemad mefarge the Rabbanu. One time I was by the yeshiva of Rav Huna, and he said it was basically a day when none of the Rabbanan, none of them really came to yeshiva that day. It was like, maybe a Friday or a Sunday, whatever it was. Samri ha'ina yemad desit mihu. And he said, today is a lip day. I never know what he meant. However, I didn't know what he meant, but now once you say that a lip is, even if you can buy 100 lips for a zuz, don't do it because you gain nothing. So now I understand why the day was called a lip day, because it just means that it was like a lazy day, nothing was done. The kaishin and taber. So now we get back to our Mishnah, which said you can go ahead and tie the umbilical cord. So not only can you tie, but even you can go ahead and cut it. The time and some used to go ahead and have the minhag of basically bearing the shilya, the placenta that the baby came with, right? In order to go ahead and bury that, right? You cover that, then that will sort of warm the baby. And Amar Rav Shimon Gamliel, Benais Malachim Tainu Bisvalim Shel Shem, they used to go ahead, and the daughters of Malachim used to go ahead and basically hide the placentas in bowls of oil. And Benaz Hashim, those who are wealthy, Bismugim Shel Tzemer, used to go ahead and put them in wool. And Benaz Hanim, the poor ones, B'Machin, used to go ahead and put them in rags. And Amar Rav Nachman Rav Amar Rav, Halach Rav Yossi, Halach Rav Yossi, that we say you can go ahead and even cut it for the sake of the child and the mother. Amar Rav Nachman Amar Rav, even the Rabbanu agree that if it's twins, you can go ahead and cut them both. My time was the reason, right? Because they'll pull away from one another, and then maybe the other one will come unconnected, and therefore bring one to a sakana. And finally, anything that was mentioned in the parsha of Toichecha, right, similar to the Tocha, but it's not referring to that of which we read in the Chumash, rather referring to that which was said in Yecheskel. And it was said in Yecheskel, and it said, what did it say over there? Shinamar says over there, it was basically a bunch of curses and things that were not done, that will not be done. Shemalar, right? And when it comes to your birth, right? And the day when you're born, your umbilical cord was not cut. And right, and the water was not washed on your body, and you were not rubbed on with salt, right? And instead of there, and you were not swaddled, right? So all these things basically were curses, were bad things that were not done. So what do you see from over there? So we see that these are things that really one should be done for the benefit of the child and the mother. So therefore, this here we see that one can go ahead and assist and deliver a baby on Shabbos. Like Karas Sharech. So he says, no, your umbilical cord is not cut. So therefore, we see one should cut even on Shabbos. All right, and you were not washed with water. So you can go ahead and wash the child even with warm water on Shabbos. Then you're not salt. And over here we see that you use salt. And and over here it says over there that you will not swaddle. So here we see that one can go ahead and swaddle a newborn baby on Shabbos. So Hajar Lach.
A private jet there?
No one's on the plane. I got my own plane.
I was going to say, you can dance around there. There's nobody there to stop you.
Yeah.
How many people are on that plane?
It's freaking empty.
I see.
Amazing.
Where are you off to?
I'm just coming back from New York.
Okay. Safe flight.
Amazing.
I
All
get the
right,
social
have a great
distance
day,
on
guys.
a plane.
Where's Rebbe?
He left. He had business to do. He was on the road.
Is he sitting in the car?
He did it from his car.
They drove though?
What's that?
I think his kid's getting engaged.
Oh, maybe that's what he's doing. That's what he was by himself in the car though. It looked like.
I know. They
Anyway.
must have. He's probably in a hotel.
Yeah. Have a great day.
Have a good
Guys,
one.
Have a
Safe flight
I
there.
didn't say
Amazing
anything.
day.
In case you're wondering. Act surprised.
No problem. I'm good at that.